Hello, hello. Welcome to the Touch Yourself show with Toyi and the gang. And as usual, I have my sidekick, Maureen. Hi, Maureen.
Hi, viewers out there.
Hi, everybody. Share this link with your friends, with your foes, with everybody. Let's come and gist about this interesting topic. I'm sure a lot of us will be interested in it. It's a topic that we like to talk about. In a Nigerian African society, marriage is always an issue. I must marry. Okay, so after you have married, what next? When you don't find that love of your life, your bone of your bone, your whatever. Anyway, let me introduce to you this program before some of you will be wondering, what on earth is this? This is the Touch and Shell show with Toyi and the gang, a production of Sickle Cell Advocacy and Management Initiative, SAMI. And it is supported by the Public Affairs section of the U.S. Consulate. And today we're talking about a particular topic, Abby.
Yes.
Yes, when you find love, the sweetie love. Don't mind me, I'm being cheeky today. So we have our guests ready and waiting, standing by. I'm going to bring them on. So share this, because this is from the when men's chat, when men me and my English grammar, when men chat section.
This one is like men's forum.
Men's forum, exactly. Only that the women are the interviewees.
Yes.
So I'm going to bring them on now. Yep. Hello, Segun. Welcome, welcome. And then Dotun. Hey, Dotun is muted. Dotun's audio is off and his screen is off. Okay, while I'm trying to sort that out. Yes, so Maureen would introduce Dotun to the audience.
All right. So hello once again, everyone. Segun, hi. It's nice to have you here.
Yeah, same here.
I'm good. I hope you're enjoying the change of weather. This one that I don't know, everything is changing. We now have Hamatan towards the end of February.
I tell you, I think climate change is very real, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. Okay, so with us tonight is Olusegun Adesokon. Did I get that right? Adesokon. Adesokon, okay. He's an experienced chartered accountant and has worked with major multinationals in Nigeria. He lives with sickle cell disease. He has recently been involved with sickle cell advocacy and working with several sickle cell support and advocacy groups. He passionately shares his story to encourage people living with sickle cell and spreading knowledge of sickle cell amongst other sickle cell warriors and community as a whole. He is married to Olufumi, a nutritionist, and they are blessed with 2 daughters. Wow, this is a nice one. So I think part of what you're even going to be sharing with us today it's yeah, encouraging people like you just said, like what we are having, what we are talking about today. It's when love finds you. A lot of people living with the disorder would say they have difficulty finding love, or love is difficult to find them. I don't know which it is, but but I would like to know how has it been for you? Was it difficult for you to find love, or did love find you? Which one was it?
Okay. Thanks for having me once again. And so it's my pleasure being on this show, trying to share my story. So for me, I would say it was both, right? I mean, it happens that um, having to being in love happened, but there's
Mm,
still the other part of where love has to find you, right? So for me,
mm,
I believe I found love and love found me. My
wow.
story is not very different from that of any other individual, right?
Mm,
So I I got married to a friend that we met while we were in the higher institution. So
mm,
uh, but like I said, it was a bit of both. I guess in the course of the session, we'll get into
mm,
the details. It was a bit of both. I found love, and of course, love
mm.
found me.
I like that. I like the sound of that. You found love and love found you. And the fact that you actually married somebody who is your friend. So okay, going forward, like you said, in the middle of discussion, we'll still talk more about that. We'll see how maybe you could encourage other warriors. Maybe there was something you did differently. I don't know. I don't know. I think there are a whole lot of people out there who are finding it really difficult when it comes to this relationship issue. And it's a
Yeah.
must, like Anthony said in the beginning, that in Africa or in Nigeria, it's like it's a must. You must find love, or you must marry, or anyhow. So anyway,
Uh,
so I'll be adding the second our second guest. Oh, I think he's gone off. Maybe he's having issues with his network. So we'll just carry on till they come back. Okay, so was your wife your first love? Was it like you found, how some people would say, or how we see it in the movies or read it in these romantic books? You find love and they live happily ever after. So was it that kind, or did you have some hiccups before you finally, settled with your friend who is now your wife?
yeah. Okay. So for me, it's my wife is the first person. She was the first person that I professed love marriage to, right?
Mm,
Um, and I can boldly say that she was the first person. I had a lot of female friends, right? But when it got to the point of relationship, she is actually the first person that I had that we had the relationship and that definitely eventually moved to marry. But she was the very first person and the only person that I've actually professed marriage to, right? So for me,
ah,
that's why I found love and love found me. So I really did not
wow.
have.
Wow. So your own is actually like I was just like I was saying, it's one of those fairy tales, just like one of those fairy tales. And that's very interesting. Okay, so how was it maybe in the relationship? Did you have any, or did she have any, was there some kind of hiccup when it came to the issue of your health? Maybe somebody was thinking, would this work? Would this not work? But they say this thing about these people, or they say, how was it?
Okay,
Was
so
it
so
smooth?
we
Was it smooth all the way?
well, I think it's not. I can't say it was smooth all the way. However, it was not. It was not a very bumpy one, right?
Mm,
Fortunately, for me, when we first met, she she said that she kind of had an understanding, and she definitely knew that I had sickle cell, right? So she, because of her background, she has siblings that are in the health sector. She has a doctor brother. She has a nurse sister, and then she could
Oh.
recognize me from the way I was, that or from the way I look, that I probably have the sickle cell disease. So it was not difficult for her. She already knew. Maybe that was what actually helped. However, in the course of our relationship getting to marriage, she also had to convince family members or to speak with family members that now had to give their consent. And I think the only challenge she had in that aspect was her mom. But thankfully, because she had siblings that already are very knowledgeable in terms of health matter, sickle cell disease, and all of that, they were able to was it convince, or were they were able to speak with mom, and then God bless her. So right until she left this world, we actually get along. It was a smooth one. That was just the only hiccup, if I can say, that we had. I that was not known to me. It was later that she told me all of this. But apart from that, I was very accepted, and I don't think we had that issue. I understand that many people had the issue of acceptance, but for me, it was not the
Yeah.
case in this instance. Yes.
I can see your case, as in you've really been very, I don't know, should I call it luck? Very so blessed with this thing. It's been more or less like a smooth ride. But okay, from your own point now, would you say, were you scared at any point? Were you afraid? Like this, my health challenge, or she might just disappear on me one day or something. Did you have that thought at any point?
No, so I did not. Maybe because I had already I have a mind made up, right? I agree. I was diagnosed at about age 10. So I
Okay.
knew I had the information. I knew it was either I married someone that would accept me or not, and then that my genotype has to be compatible. So for me, I think my mind was already made up in the sense that if he was not compatible, let's say, for example, I didn't even know our genotype at that time, right? So if we were incompatible, I was willing to let go, right? So I did not have that fear. For me, it was just that it was going to happen. If it did not happen with her, probably because of um, some rejections, maybe she couldn't go ahead with that, or because of the compatibility, health issues, genotype, and all of that, then I would have been willing to let go, right? It was not something that I was willing to
It was not a
compromise.
do or die affair.
Yeah.
Wow. I like I don't know, should I say, I like your courage. Was it courage, or, your countenance about this whole thing? And I would say it has really worked for you so far. Okay, so for some people who are finding it really difficult, and people are, kind of telling them, okay, let me use this as an example. There's a family who says, because their son has sickle cell, um, they will try and look for a wife or a girl the person can impregnate, so that if he wants to die, he can die, but then he should have a hair. I don't know if you've heard anything like that before, but
Yes,
it
I have.
happened. You have. So what would you
Yes.
say to that?
Yeah, I think the information is very critical, right? I think some of those things are based on the knowledge that they have, right? And also the individuals. I believe um, if you go ahead and do such a kind of, and probably you found someone that is not compatible and all of that. I am an advocate of this genotype compatibility, right? So for me, I think if it does not happen at that instant, then there's no need to force it, right? There's no need to force it. There are so many things you can achieve with your life if marriage is not, apart from marriage, right? I see a lot of people being tied down, or maybe sickle cell advocates, sickle cell warriors being tied down just because they are waiting for the right man, right? I don't think our lives should be limited just because we cannot find someone to marry yet, right? The mindset is very important. I know it might be difficult, especially I think it's especially difficult for the female folks, right? For female
Yeah.
citizens of the society we are in. I think this is actually prevalent in in Africa, basically, just to put it as blunt as we can. And this is because of our culture, right? So I see a lot of that. I have a lot of female friends that have sickle cell and are not married. But I think we should not just limit our lives because of that. It's not an excuse to limit our life. If it happens, excuse me, if it happens, fine. Then we move on. Then if it doesn't, then please get something doing with your life as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
So how has it been? How has it been being married, and then you have you now have your work to deal with and your family life to deal with? How has it been balancing that, especially when there's a tendency to maybe go into crisis and all that? So how has your family managed that situation?
Okay, yeah. So for me, yeah. So like you said, there are instances where it gets so much that I'm with that I have a crisis and all of that. But I thank God for my wife. She's very supportive. Like I said, she was in it even right before we got married. There's a story that we like to tell, right? So we had done our introduction and we had set a marriage date, and then somehow I went into a crisis. That would have been an opportunity to say no, I'm not doing it. But it was a very bad crisis, right? And right even before we got married, she was all there. So she saw it live. She experienced what she would probably experience in the course of our marriage just before we got married. So she's been very supportive. A lot of that, and fortunately for me as well, I work with multinationals that understand, have an understanding of my situation, right? Of course, I had to disclose that in my employment process. Uh, but it has not been easy. I mean, there are days where throughout the weekend I'm in the hospital, and then the next week I have to resume at work and all of that. But first and foremost, I think is very key that that us to have a system around us. I'm married, and my immediate support system is my. Um, I have an hospital that I attend for regular medical checkups. If you are not married, you should have friends around you that you can call for support, or individuals that can come and support you and all of that. So the support system really helps. Or if we get to say, we can say caregivers. So if you have a lot of people around you like are caregivers or a support system, I think they can help to manage some of these situations, and some of these circumstances where pressures coming to you from everywhere. But for me, my immediate family has been a lot of encouragement, and they have been my support in this aspect.
Okay. We seem to keep losing Dotun. Network, as I myself was having issue, seem to have logged out again. So yeah. Okay. We'll get there. Those are one of the challenges we have in Nigeria. Hey, Dotun, finally, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Apologies for the network issues.
Yeah, I understand. I understand. So Dotun is a teacher, a nurse, an operations manager. He started his career as a biology and computer science teacher, and he had a short stint as a clinical nurse before diving into health insurance, where he currently works as the deputy manager in the medical operation unit of Avon Healthcare Limited, one of the leading health maintenance organizations in Nigeria. He's happily married with 2 lovely kids, and of course, he's a warrior. Okay. All right. So, Dotun,
You're welcome.
Welcome, welcome. Finally, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. So I think Maureen asked the question, and I figured that was based on how did you meet your wife, and how challenging was it to find that special person, especially when we live in a society where there's so much stigma about, oh, I can't marry somebody with sickle cell and all that.
Okay, so for me, I think I've shared this story at one of the
yes, but this is a different platform. So
okay, this is a different platform. I actually met my wife at Sami. I met my wife at Sami. It was 2013 or 2012 thereabout. There was this big for sale program that Sami had, and so I used to have a mutual. She's still a mutual. She's still a friend anyway. So she's a mutual friend with my wife, and her name is Doni, and she used to be a volunteer at Sami then.
Sami.
So she came for the program and came with my wife, and then I came for the program also, and we met. But nothing happened. We didn't talk. We just greeted ourselves, and off we went. Some months later, I was just bored at home. And then I put a call through to Johnny, my friend, like, this lady that you came to Sami with the other time, can I meet her? And she arranged a meeting, and the rest is history.
Very good history.
For us, it didn't take too long, because she had been friends with Johnny for a while. Johnny is HBSS, a warrior. And then Johnny had about 2 other siblings that are warriors. One had passed anyway. So Johnny had one other sibling that was a warrior. But because she had been friends with Johnny for a long time, she knew all Johnny's family members. She had cried with them. She had done everything possible that you can do with a warrior. She had done everything with them. And then in school, they had these are all Jaja Hall at University of Ibadan, where they have people who are not so healthy, the way they call them. They have a special hostel for them. So because she was in that hostel, because she has an issue with her leg, so she was in that hostel too. So she got to meet a lot of warriors, and because of that, it wasn't a problem. It wasn't a problem for her. So the moment we met, we talked. She just we just got close, and that was it. It wasn't difficult. We didn't have to discuss stories around being a warrior or not. We didn't have to discuss that story. And luckily for me, she's AA, so everything just kind of was smooth sailing.
Yeah, but I want to ask this question, which is, and I know Segun touched on it a bit, is that do you think it's easier for sickle cell warrior men to get married than sickle cell warrior women?
To be fair,
because some people will say, no, it's not. It's the same thing.
To be fair, I think it's fair. It's fair for men to get married easily than women. And I think the problem is, there are all the complications that come with childbirth, child raising, and all of that makes it a bit difficult for people to accept women who are HBS. I think that's the major factor. That's the major factor. So it's easier for guys. You're not going to carry pregnancy. You're not going to have to push in the labor ward. So people who
so you're trying to say that it is mostly due to childbearing matters, or having a child matters.
But they say the same thing of the men too now.
Exactly. They say the same thing of the men, that because of priapism, maybe they will not have children.
That men cannot impregnate women.
I'm hear this for the first time, really.
Are you serious? They say it though.
But because of the way we are wired as a society, child pregnancy and childbearing is a big deal in our society. So I think that's why it's not so fair for women. Segun, you have something to say?
Segun wanted to say something.
Yes. I would just like to add. So apart from the stories around pregnancy and all that, I strongly believe it's a culture thing, right? I strongly believe it's because of our culture. We place so much demands on the women folk, right? She is the one that will take care of the house. She's the one that will take care of the kids. And then as a man, you think of that before you get married to a female warrior, because you would think, would she have the energy to take care of your kids? Would she have the energy to take care of the house? Would she be able to do this? Would she be able to tell that? And this is because the society plays all those responsibility on the women. Right. And like I said, I think it's prevalent in this part of the world because of that's my belief. And I think to an extent.
Yeah. Dotun, you wanted to say something?
I agree with Segun. I also think that if that was the case, now that we call ourselves progressive, forward thinking, we still have these issues. So I think now guys can you cook, can you do house chores? We all are able to kind of bring people into to do that.
But how many? But also let me ask you this question: how much of a percentage of Nigerian population are, as you say, forward thinking? Because the truth of the matter, I've met, let me say, quote unquote, educated, what I call educated intellectuals that still have that mindset. You understand? I remember.
That's exactly my point. That's my point, because I'm trying to buttress what Segun, trying to explain what Segun said. If we feel it's because of the pressure of taking care of the home, now that we call ourselves, call ourselves learned, we call ourselves forward thinking, we still have that same mindset. So it's not necessarily because of the home, because we actually can bring people in to do those things, taking care of the home. We have child minders, people who take care of the children. So I think the way we are wired is because most men I want to have a child of my own. Would this woman, will she be able to carry pregnant? Would she be able to give birth to my own children? I think that's what is, in my opinion, that's what is affecting even we that we call ourselves forward thinking people.
Yeah, well, I somewhat agree. I think so too. And I would ask our audience, what do they think? Do you think it's due to childbearing, or think it's something else, or a combination of both? I personally think it's a combination of both. Because as I was saying, I've met people who are forward thinkers, but still they think that the woman's place is in the kitchen. I'm sorry to say. It's just a basic housework. Even though they have a help. Yes. I remember the day I was sized. So people still have that mindset that even if they want to, they know they will get the help and everything. They still expect the woman to still do those basic apart from the child, having the child, the basic cook for me. I'm not allowing anybody to cook for me. I'm not allowing to, that kind of thing. So I personally think, okay, for me, Edna says it's a combination of both. Yes, I think it's a combination of both. Oh, that's your wife. Wow, nice to meet you, Fumi. You should be up here. You should be up here. So I think personally, I just think it's a blend of the two. And unfortunately, we live in a culture that we haven't moved past the mindset that the woman has a particular place and they shouldn't be seen even in the boardroom and everywhere. We still have that issue. So when it comes to an additional thing like a health issue, I think it's that stigma has been added. Oh, this one cannot do anything, it cannot achieve anything, and all that. Yeah, I know it happens to men too, because I had a late friend, whose former girlfriend, she had that issue before he finally married somebody with a genotype out of that issue of being, even though the person was neglected. It was, in fact, he said it was like as if the AA person has now felt that they are doing they are doing them a favor by wanting to marry them. So you should be happy that I want to marry you. That was the attitude he got. And he felt, forget all this. Let me just marry who I want, who I know, regardless of whether person is who I know that will love me for me, and not because they all made. I owe them because they are marrying me and all that. So, yeah. So, Maureen, any other issues we should raise? Ladies, what do you want to ask the men? I'm sure you have questions to ask these men. Eh?
I don't even know. They're just watching. They are just watching. Anyway, so just like Segun's wife rightly said, the combination of both. Not everyone can bring in caregivers, but that's when we are talking about caregivers. How about everybody doing their bits to ease off? I remember reading a tweet, I think sometime last week, and a man narrated how he came home. You know, he had this mindset of the man is the provider. He'll go out, get work. When he comes back, he has his bath, sits down, watch TV while food is getting ready and all that. So he came back one evening. He was lucky to have come in early and found his wife lying down, the gas still on, the pot of food she was cooking was burnt. When they got to the hospital, the doctor told him she was stressed out. So at that point he realized, not even that, when they came home, he needed to take a few days off work, and he took care of the home, their baby and everything. And he now found out that when he goes to work to sit in his office, so this woman will need to take care of the baby, she will need to bath the baby, she will need to wash their clothes, she will need to clean the house, she will need to go to the market, she will need to cook. All these things are work, which he never realized before. So yes, like Auntie Toyin said, people with issues, some people will want to, throw in that stigma and all that. But I don't know, how do we as a society start telling everybody now that it's not just about people's health, or they have a health condition. It's I don't know, it encompasses everything. I don't know how we'll get to that level. I don't know, it just keeps me thinking, like, a lot of people don't know. That's, I don't know, that mindset is still there, and it's hard to deal with. And if such a mindset is still there, how do we get past the fact that there's a health condition, and it could be a lot more work for some people, and people should see it as something. I don't know, like your both of you, your wives didn't see, maybe they didn't see much issue in it. They didn't see like they were doing you a favor. They still saw you both as, these people are human beings. They have a need. They are good people. They saw beyond all that health. I don't know. So I'm just going to say, before to round up, I would like people to tell us something. How do we get people past this? Tell us something that would maybe to encourage other warriors, or encourage people who are not warriors, look beyond this health challenge.
Okay, so if I may go first, right? For me, I strongly believe that we are on the right path. Advocacy is one of the key things. People need to be knowledgeable. They need to know that as a sickle cell warrior, it's not like you are incapacitated. There are some things you can't do, right? But you are not incapacitated, right? So that advocacy, I think we have started. How long it will take for us to educate everybody in this
Exactly.
society, I don't know. But if we start to tell our stories, right, we are able to educate other people. Like for both of us, you would notice that our spouses were both educated about the sickle cell disease, and it was not difficult for us to, we did not have to convince them to marry us, right? Because they had the knowledge of what the sickle cell disease is. Right. So we have to start with that. I believe that has been in motion. How long it will take in this our society, we don't know. The other thing for me is probably on our part as warriors. There are mindsets that we need to do away with. We cannot begin to think of ourselves as victims, right? We cannot begin to think of ourselves as less than average person, right? So
So it begins with
don't
us.
don't limit yourself, right? Go out there, whatever it is. If anybody can do it, you can do it. It is not, maybe it will just take you a little bit longer, but if it requires some things, it will take some time, but you can do it. Don't limit yourself. Don't have that mindset that because you have a disease, there are things that you cannot do. Right? I think that's basically from my end. Add the knowledge. We need to pass that knowledge. There is no two way about it. People need to know that the condition is not an excuse. They need to know what it is. People that don't suffer sickle cell, they need to know that as a sickle cell warrior, you are not limited in the abilities that you have, right?
Okay, Dotun.
Okay, so yeah, I agree with everything Segun said, but there's something I just want to correct there. There is actually nothing you cannot do. You can do everything. You can only just pace yourself to do those things. There is nothing you cannot do as a warrior. So advocacy is important, and we need to, like he said, it should start from us. We want to work on ourselves, and I feel like having a support system works a lot. So be in the midst of people who have the same issues and are achieving a lot. So that tends to inspire. If I can go a bit like into my background a bit. Growing up, I was very sickly with big, these are physical features, big tummy, very yellowish eyeballs, and I was always in my corner. Yes, academically, I was sound. At, uh, at a very young age, I was the senior prefect of the school, but this senior prefect with big tummy. that nobody respects. Nobody wants to listen to the senior prefect. I was just the senior prefect on paper. Nobody cares about because of the way I live. And after secondary school, I just started reaching out. And that was when I started looking for people who have the same issue that I have. As I went on, I discovered Progeny, I discovered Sami. So I met Buki, I met Tosin, of what was it called? I think it was
Sibokno.
Sibokno. She was at
Yeah.
Top FM then or
It was
something.
these jeans.
Yes, I met Auntie Toyin. I kept meeting people and I was putting myself out there. I would volunteer, and while I was volunteering, I was learning. I was building my confidence also. So with that, you understand that there's nothing you cannot do, and then your self-esteem, if you have it up there, nobody is even going to. The conversation of HBSS being a warrior comes after. It's the person you meet first before you start having the conversation of genotype. So who are you when people meet you, and when you are creating the first impression? That goes a long. So like Segun said, we need to continue to develop ourselves and see that there is nothing we cannot do. So we should not let people now feel like they are helping us because we are trying to get into a relationship with them. It shouldn't be that way. So everything is about self confidence and self worth.
So at the end of the day, everything starts with us. That is the bottom line of what both of you have said so far. And which is what I try and tell our fellow warriors. The onus is on us, it's not on other people. Is how people perceive us is where we'll get the hand dealt with. And when they perceive us as being pity party, woe is me, of course, they will now think that if this person is complaining so much, woe is me and all that, will I be able to manage the person? Because nobody was, yes, but at the same time, they say well, they for better, for worse and all that, but at the same time, somebody doesn't want to marry somebody they will have to continuously be a liability. They want something that there's a synergy that both of you can work to build a home together, despite the challenges that you may face along the way. And they believe that both of you can carry it together. But when they seem to believe that they cannot carry these challenges, that's when people back out and, so yeah, thank you so much. It's been an interesting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. It's really been an interesting one.
Relationship, being in how do I put it now? Being in a relationship with somebody, like it's just relationship. That's the word, relationship. And then we have in all facets of our life. In the office, you meet people that you are not cool with, and you just do your job and you go off. In school, you meet people that your values and vision in life does not align, and you go your separate. The same way with when you're in a relationship for marriage. If it does not work, it does not work. So it shouldn't be because I'm HBS, I'm a warrior, I'm AA, you are trying to do me a favor. No, if it works, it works. It does not work, it does not work.
Exactly. Thank you so much, guys. Time is supposed to be 30 minutes. We had a bit of heat, as usual. But thank you so much for heeding to our call to come and share. And I know this is not going to be the last time we'll call upon you to come and share. Hello. It happens. So, how are you there? Great to see you. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for being here. And we hope to have you again once again on we'll come and discuss we'll have the male versus the men. Next week we're having the females. So next time we'll now have the two of you together. And let's hear, and hopefully we'll be able to get your spouses to come on to get a different perspective, as well, because people will say, Shebi is because we are warriors, they're talking from, but they don't know how we as non-warriors feel, that kind of thing. So it'd be nice to have that discussion, and we hope to have it soon. So God bless you, and bye.
Thank you for having
us. Thanks. So in rounding up, one thing is important that our guests have mentioned. It all starts with you. You are your own advocate. And it's the way people see you and the way people respond to you. So do not think that relationships are all defined by a certain health issue or no health issue. It's how you put yourself out there that matters. And because let's face it, there are people without sickle cell or any health issues that are still not married and they're still looking for a spouse. So the most important thing is wait, and when it's cost time, so many. And some of them have decided to be single ladies with babies.
And baby mamas and baby dadas.
Exactly. So, when is the time, it's the time. And I'm sure if it's that way, God will give you somebody that will be right for you. Do not be in a hurry, because the most important thing, as they say, wedding is for a day, marriage is for a lifetime.
For a lifetime.
Yeah. So, all right, Maureen, I hand over to you. Take it away and round us and close us out of this. Thank you all for watching.
Thank you, everybody. You can join us again next week, Saturday, same time. It's going to be another interesting session with some lovely ladies. And this production was brought to you by Sickle Cell Advocacy and Management Initiative with the support of the Public Affairs section of the United States Consulate. You can follow us on all our social media handles at Sammy Updates or sicklecelladvocacy.org, which is our website. And if you're in Lagos, tune in on a live radio show on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Star FM 101.5 FM. So till we come your way again next time, enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Yes.
And have a great week ahead.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.